Peace and love. Welcome back. Welcome back. The last time I was here, we were talking about the eclipse, and I think I briefly talked about the mother goddess a little bit. Except going back to the eclipse just slightly. I want to check something out real quick. We're gonna go with master Mastercard. And what I want to show you with Mastercard is that Mastercard is Rahu and Ketu. The red sun in the what they call the shadow planet. It's more the shadow object. I'm not gonna call it a planet. It's not a planet like they describe it, so I'm not gonna call it that. I just wanted to show you that they know about these things and they use them in the symbols to use against us. That's what I want to show you. At every turn, you can see how somewhere in their logos they're using these symbols. Which is why I want to go ahead and get started with the mother goddess, because back when I was doing all that research in high school, one of the earliest questions I asked, because I started out asking, I want to say Santa Claus was first. I'm pretty sure Santa Claus was first. I wanted to know why Santa Claus was fat, because it doesn't make sense. The whole chimney thing, sliding down, you could have made him a skinny dude, right? So why is Santa Claus fat? This is Tim Allen in the movie Santa Claus. Look at him. Look at him. What does he look like? Oh man, look what they call that, the fupa. Fupa. Yeah, look at him, man. Like, look at Santa Claus, man. Look at this. And this is what slides down the chimney on Christmas. The fat man, right? This look halfway decent. You know what I'm saying? Like, okay, big enough chimney, I can see that. And then you got little skinny Santa Claus right here. Oh, man, why? Because Santa Claus is not exactly who you think he is and represents something else. But I want to look at this Tim Allen joint in particular, man, because this is hilarious, man. Space and Santa Claus movies, like, I look at them different now, man. I look at all this stuff different now, actually, man. Like, I don't even watch TV. Like, the whole thing is different. When you wake up, the whole place is different. And, like, if it didn't irritate you before, when you wake up, it really irritates the shit out you now. You be like, why y'all doing this? Cause stop doing. Would you please just stop? Would you please just stop? I'm gonna get into the war in Ukraine, man. The war in Palestine. Look, I'm gonna say this about the war in Palestine, real quick. Got to. We read in history of these colonizers taking the land from these indigenous people time after time. The colonizers come in and they say, oh, the people wasn't doing nothing with the land. We need to go ahead and take it. You know what I'm saying? Well, I mean, we started building, we started doing something with it. We was taking the minerals out the ground. They wasn't doing nothing with the land, man. Like, it was useful for us to do stuff and build things. You know what I mean? Like, it's always the same story, and the indigenous population gets pushed out. What if? Hear me out now. What if the indigenous population didn't want to take the minerals out of the ground because of what all the minerals did for the land and the growth of the land? Think about it like this. All these places with these resources in like Africa, Cuba, Costa Rica, South America, like just in general, man, all these places, they have these animals that are nowhere else on in this place. And they eat these, and these animals eat these fruits and these vegetables that don't grow anywhere else on this place. And these places where you have all the minerals being taken out of, the animals, they all about look the same. They're a little different. They all about look the same. They all about eat the same stuff. You know what I'm saying? You can feed the pig slop, same thing as you can do in Australia. You know what I mean? It's different. These places where it hadn't been touched and they're trying to get to it. I remember when they were it was a big deal. People wanted to save the trees. They was burning down the rainforest in South America. And this is when I was first learning about, this is during this time, doing this research, and I learned about this tree that has all the elements in it that occur naturally here on the earth. Same thing as the human body. And I remember thinking, that's why they tearing down the rainforest. They trying to get as much of this vegetation, this natural forest, up out of here. And these are the places where all these elements usually ain't been dug up yet. All of a sudden they're, oh man, it's rich in this and it's rich in that, and they got to come in and develop it, man. They ain't doing that with the land. So what I'm saying is, with this war in Israel and Palestine, now we seeing it happen in real time. You see what I'm saying? World War II, nobody, well, I'll say on appearance, nobody took over the land. They still their own government or whatnot. We understand how this works. We don't go into any place that has this conflict going on and influence our way in and spend all this money unless we're going to get something out of it in the long run. You see what I'm saying? And in this case right here, us putting the money in, I don't really see us, the people of America, getting anything out of it in the long run. These people at the top, oh yeah, because they all, I'm telling you, this is part of a plan. The Zionists, these people that you hear about, and I really need to look this up real quick because I ain't want to go here right now because I want to talk about the mother goddess, but I gotta talk about this lady real quick. Her name is Kay Griggs. Now, she has several videos out, and I'm not going to watch any of her videos right now. I don't even know if they're showing me the right lady or not. This is the lady right here. And if I'm not mistaken, the interview she does, this is what she's wearing. This one right here. You can go to YouTube. You can go to YouTube and find her. It's like a 7.5 hour video of her, and she's describing um, her time growing up, the life she spent because she was married to a colonel in the Marines, I think, if I'm not mistaken. And she just describing her experience and the things that was going on in that world and what she was finding out as a white Christian woman in America. And the thing about her story that got me the most was like listening to her. The stuff I'm talking about, she don't know nothing about that. She is Jesus. We went to the moon and all that other stuff. She describes a lot of what I'm saying about this Zionist movement, who these people really are. If you understand what I'm talking about, these are the pirates. These are the invaders. These are the people that came in and took lands from land after land, and they're here now. Like, they're all together, and people do a lot of looking and be like, "Oh man, it's white people that's doing it. It's not just white people." Yes, they make it look that way. The world is catered that way to make it seem that way. Racism is real. It's a real thing. I'm gonna get into that too. When whole Charles Darwin theory of evolution and whatnot, I'm putting holes all in. He got so many holes. Oh man, I'm gonna put my foot on his neck too. What I'm saying is, this movement is all racist. It's higher than just Zionists. It goes deeper into realism. If you look that up, realism, man. Look that up real quick, because I actually haven't looked up the term in a while. Uh, Realism is this whole scientific space movement. I compare it a lot to Scientology. I really don't know a whole lot about it. The thing is, they are on the whole alien thing and pushing science, just like Scientology. I'm not sure all their philosophies or what they believe or whatnot, or what books like they subscribe to or whatever. I want to say it's just science. And, well, what's that one book, Dianetics? That's a Scientology book. That guy right there, L. Ron Hubbard, he's a big thing. I want to say he has something to do with realism too. I'm not sure. But this is a whole thing, man. I mean, it's deeper than that. And what I'm trying to explain to you is, it's not just white people. It's people of all races. It's the reason all these movements get infiltrated. And we be like, oh, what happened? Why come nothing ever really happens and everything stays pretty much the same? It's because all these movements get infiltrated. If you have any type of group whatsoever, y'all have meetings, y'all get together, whatnot, it's been infiltrated. It's been infiltrated. People ask a lot of times, like, why would the government spy on us and whatnot, blah, blah, blah. This is why. It's for their own purposes, to make sure there's no one out there with a big enough voice to go against their plans of what they're doing. So when it comes to the whole thing, like, you gotta have somebody in every part. Like, the military has spies for every nation. Every other nation has spies for every other nation, because they all want to find out what's going on. They want to know where's the weak spots, what's going on, where the threat's at, blah, 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 whatever. And believe it or not, um, they have a group for everything, anything that you can believe in. So even this conscious community, this whole being woke theory or idea, whatever you want to call it, I call us. I'm a truth seeker myself. That's what I call them. I'm just looking for the truth, good, bad, or ugly, whatever. I just want the truth, man. I don't really care no more. It is what it is. All I, you gonna find so much stuff you not gonna want to know and not gonna like, man. Look, at the end of the day, the only thing that really matters is the truth and what's going on, because you can't really formulate a plan of action and do anything in a positive movement unless you understand the truth of what's really going on. All you can do is play the game the way the game's been given to you until you start understanding the truth of it. If the rules aren't quite explained to you the right way, and somebody is withholding information about the rules, you're only going to play it on the level of knowledge that you've been given. You're not going to know, oh, man, I can do this. Oh, the rule. Oh, okay. The rules didn't say anything about this, and they did mention that, except it didn't say anything about adding this with that. You know, it's a whole little game you play. And what I'm saying is about the whole thing is this is the land that's being taken right now in real time, and we see it happening. And what history tells in the future, 200, 300 years from now, that's a different story. You see what I'm saying? That's what they've been doing thus far. I'm getting to that too. It's part of the mother goddess thing. But like, I'm getting to that too, man. But like, yeah, that's what they've been doing thus far. So this whole movement, the six-pointed star, remember looking for that? I ain't even going to pull it up right now, but you see it. You know where it is. At the same time, it's real people like me and you mixed up in there with all of that. These people, I said it before and I'm going to say it again. There's two types of individuals here, two types of entities here. And that is the natural human being that is here, like us, and the other ones. And they look like us, they walk like us, and they talk like us. And they are of every race, and they get together and they meet and they plan and decide the fate of the world or whatever, or they make plans for what they're going to do in the future, or of food and everything else. And they call these groups, this group in particular, the UN. They go by a lot of names. They have a lot of groups. UN, World Economic Forum, World Health Forum, with all these groups. At the end of the day, they all get together at the UN, and what is that, G4, G5, G6 summit, whatever it is they call it, where they all get together and decide what they're going to do with the world as they fighting amongst each other now. Pay close attention to what's going on. As they fight amongst each other, they're going to get together and decide what's going on with the rest of the world, what they're going to do, what the plans are, the money they're going to spend, and everything, how things should go. Pay close attention, man. Pay close attention. Anyway, man, let me jump back on to the mother goddess. No, we don't want no exclusive offers. We don't want none of that. And we're going to talk about the devil right now. We're going to go back to him too, because he's important. Now, I wanted to know why Santa Claus was fat. And you see the mother goddess here? This is one depiction of the mother goddess. They give her in a lot of depictions. This is like I was telling you about with the letter A. Everybody's going to write it different, except everybody knows it's an A. Everybody was depicting the mother goddess different in the different cultures they were in, except they all worshipped the mother goddess. Which one is this? I want to say this is supposed to be pre. Finnish. This is the Finnish mother goddess. She's depicted this way by several different groups, though. This is the Celtic and Norse mother goddess right here. See the arms up? See how she's raised? See the hips? See the hourglass figure? Like a Coke bottle? This is where we get it from. What these people did is something else, man. I'm trying to tell you what they did was something else. This is another depiction. Oh, gotta go back to this. Why is she fat? This is why Santa Claus is fat. Santa Claus is a depiction of the mother goddess. Let me show you that again. See Tim Allen with himself. See his hips. See he posed out like a girl, like a woman. Man, and it's a whole nother thing they're doing with this gender thing. That's why they doing it. Oh man, this is what they do. This is if you go back to the Baphomet, it's part man, part woman, part goat. You see what I'm saying? This is not a coincidence. It's not a coincidence. At some point in the game, you got to stop saying, oh, it's just a coincidence. Say that about everything we like. It used to be coincidence, and that was fake news. Oh, that's a whole nother story, man. The work that he did with that one, I saw when he was doing it. He just kept saying it. And the first time I seen it, I was like, nah, that ain't going to really work. And then the second time he did it, like, he just kept saying it so many times. I was like, he was saying it like 10, 15 times at a time. Like, no, I see what you're doing. And before I knew it, everybody was running around saying it. Fake news, everything you don't like. Fake news. Go right ahead with that. We're going to get into that too, man. Let me jump back on Santa Claus, man. I got to stop. Man, this stuff. But yeah, look at this little fat dude going down the chimney. Check him out with his hips all bulged out. Right that now. Go back and look at the mother goddess. See what I'm saying? That's all they did. And this is another version of mother goddess. You see that right there? This is Gaia. Now, once again, they put this in the movies and the cartoons and everything. So if y'all around my set time right now, like when I was growing up back in the 80s, we had this cartoon called Captain Planet, the 5 Planeteers. They all get together and form Captain Planet, man, and it's a whole concept. Voltron, all the different robots that was in the Transformers series, like, you know what I'm saying, the Constructicons and then the Dinobots and all that stuff, man. Just 5 robots getting together, forming something else into a bigger thing, right? So they formed Captain Planet over, and Captain Planet, the 5 people formed Captain Planet with the rings. Oh, the rings is important because the Lord of the Rings, man, big ring we kept in. This is another concept that repeats over and over. The ring you get married with. That's why I wanted to show you the diamond where the capstone is capped off. Like, that should be like your crown chakra, except they showing it's symbolic that it's not. You're not in control. That's what the ring represents. It's not, none of this stuff is what you think it is. The whole world is flipped backwards. Anyway, back to Mother Gaia. The reason she got this stomach looking like this and this whole, once again, this represents pregnancy. Let's go back to this. The Mother Goddess, see the hips, see the stomach. It represents pregnancy. So the reason she got this is the earth. This is the earth. Now, a lot of people go, oh, her stomach round, the earth is round. No. That's not what that means. It means she giving birth to the earth. This is where I'm trying to explain to you that before we had male deities like Jesus, Allah, and Buddha. Look at Buddha. You see his stomach, right? Let's look at Buddha. You see his stomach, right? You see his stomach? You see Buddha's stomach? You see Buddha's stomach? Because it represents the mother goddess. It represents pregnancy because she's giving birth to the earth. And so before we had male deities, we worshiped the mother goddess. And the mother goddess was a duality. It's energy. That's what this whole place is. The whole concept is energy. And there's a feminine and masculine energy together that gives birth to the earth. That's the womb. This is the black hole they talking about, the womb of the woman. And they perverted the whole thing and they turned it into like dragons and vampires and all other types of stuff. This is what I was showing you with the dragon head. How there's actually somebody, if you look, you can see that there's actually somebody standing there holding their hands up. Right there in the middle. Can you see it? Right there in the middle, holding their hands up. And it's in all the designs that they give you with it. They perverted the symbols. And in one instance, they want you to fear it. And in another instance, just like with the MasterCard symbol, they want you to go to it. There we go. This is what I want to show you. Now, if you just flip this around, this Mercedes symbol, this is the mother goddess standing there with her hands held up, with her arms outstretched, just like this, like she's coming to give you a hug. See, now today we in here swearing in. Hand over your arm and one hand up. We halfway there. We halfway to this right here. You see what I'm saying? This the Baphomet joint. You see what I'm saying? One hand up, one hand down, but we right here with it. We the kids. That's why they call us kids. They don't call their children, they don't call them kids. We call our children kids. Somebody turned me on to this back when I was in like junior high. If you listen to the news, when they talk about the queen and her children, well, she dead now, so I guess the king now, he no longer the prince, the king now, the king and his children, they don't call them kids. You'll never hear them refer to them as kids, ever, ever, ever. Yet when you hear the news and them talking about our children, they refer to them as kids all the time. A kid is a baby goat. And they do it so much, it's so natural, it's in our language now, we just say it. And we go, oh, ain't nothing wrong with that. And we don't know the power in the words. We don't understand what's going on. Just like we don't know these symbols. We don't know why we like this Mercedes symbol so much. We love it, man. It's so fly. Even if you don't like Mercedes, the car for itself, the drive, the maintenance and whatnot, blah, blah, you love that. That symbol tight, though. You got to admit that, right? That symbol tight, right? Excuse me. And then we got this other symbol over here. we don't understand what's going on, man. We just like it. We don't understand why we like it so much. We just do. It's right there in front of us. And he's a big one. Oh man. And it's like, what's his number? 23? Two threes. Come on, man. 33. That's a whole thing to repeat. I picked, man, look. Cause this is where I was going with this. Cause like finding out about Santa Claus and being connected to the mother goddess, I also wanted to look into elves and leprechauns. That was the thing. See, like this world crazy, man, because you play like leprechauns and elves aren't real. Yet we have these holidays based on them like they are real. We have these folklore and fairy tales and nursery rhymes like they're real. Except you say, oh, they're not real, they're fake, it's fantasy, it's magic. Except we believe a man walked on water, yet a leprechaun ain't real because it's magic. You see what I'm saying? This world crazy. Well, it was always crazy to me, so I wanted to figure out where this whole, like, it didn't make no sense. First, you got us doing all this stuff for the fat man, leaving out milk and cookies at the end, like pretending like he really gonna come down the chimney and whatnot. And you really faking the whole thing to the point where the adults do it to get the children into it. You see what I'm saying? Like, what's really going on? Why you really got us doing this? The whole tree, the lights. Like, why is this all so specific? Because have you ever seen anybody that's really into this Christmas thing and they really want all the stuff to go right in the decoration? Boy, mess around and not get something done. Let them come to your house and you ain't put up your tree yet. The whole time they there, they gonna talk about why you ain't put up your tree yet, man. Like it be the craziest stuff. Why come you ain't got a wreath on your door? You supposed to have a wreath. You know, if you want it like this, oh man, I ain't even gonna lie. Being younger, the guys used to walk around with the mistletoe, like, you gotta kiss me now. Like, what oh man, why they got us doing all this stuff? So I wanted to find out where all this stuff come from. So I started researching, and the elves, those are the Dogon tribe. Supposedly the Dogon and the Pygmy, there's they say the Pygmy in particular. I don't know. I couldn't say it because really they the similar thing. And in the nursery rhymes and the fairy tales, they give you, it's the same characters. You see what I'm saying? And this is what I mean. The Pygmy were depicted as the elves for Santa Claus. So you had the mother goddess, not Pygmy, but the Dogon tribe. The Dogon tribe and the mother goddess were the elves and Santa Claus, the depiction for them. So with the Pygmy tribe, they were the leprechauns. This is where the whole thing with St. Patrick comes in. This is why we do the whole leprechaun thing, and they got the shoes on with the shiny buckles and whatnot. See, what I'm saying is, when I started reading into about the mother goddess and the Dogon tribe and Pygmy tribe, see, there's this book in particular, Conversations with Olga Tamelli. Now, this book is about a bunch of Europeans going over into Africa, speaking with this one particular elder, Olga Tamelli. about the Dogon tribe, and because they were considered some of the oldest humans here. So speaking in particular with them about where they come from and their philosophies and their beliefs and whatnot. So the thing is, I read several books. I want to say a lot. I really don't remember how many books. I read a few though, quite a few, 4 or 5 at least. Besides the conversation with Olga Tamelli about the Dogon tribe, man, and that's a whole nother thing about this section, man, because a lot of this stuff came from this fiction section of the library, except it was used in scientific books. These scientists were actually using where they got their information from these other scientists whose books were in the fiction section. And I think I said this before, some of it was taken word for word. Like it was crazy. No matter what I researched, I ended up going back to this section. And the reason I started seeing this, why it is this, I started seeing why these books were in the fiction section is because their conclusions come out to stuff like this. Talking about the mother goddess and the Dogon tribe and the pygmy tribe and these symbols and whatnot. So it was called fiction. In the science of what they give us, talking about molecules and atoms and whatnot, the shit you can't see, and they just give you a bunch of equations and stuff wrote down on a piece of paper and say, oh, this is it right here. When really, this is the ancestors speaking to you with their symbols. They told you what it was. They drew some shit. They made these statues. They tried to tell you what it was. And we let them tell us their version of what it is. You see what I'm saying? We've been tricked. We've been bamboozled. And I sort of lost my place right there with the mother goddess. Oh, man. See, the thing is, with the mother goddess, Santa Claus, the elves and whatnot, all this became our folklore and like nursery rhymes and fairy tales and all types of stuff, man. The thing really goes deep. It's deeper than just Santa Claus and doing a little ritual. That's just part of it. See, even before we had Santa Claus, they had us doing the ritual anyway. We called it Yule, or Winter Harvest, or Winter Fest. Side note, I gotta say this real quick. I showed you the god Saturn. I don't know if I can find it. Let me just say this real quick. The god Saturn eating the babies, right? During a harvest or a festival, what are you doing? You're eating. Now, as above, so below. And this is a whole thing with Valentine's Day, because on Valentine's Day, they had these orgies where women became pregnant. So in December, when we're having this winter festival, we're having Yule, they're giving birth. You see where I'm going with this? This is what they was doing. And not only that, I talked about how they feed on our energy. So at these harvests and festivals, these entities are also feeding on your energy. It's as above, so below. Everything that happens on a physical level happens on a metaphysical level, a spiritual level. You see what I'm saying? It's the same thing. People call it by different names. It's really the same thing. So when it comes to the leprechauns and the elves and whatnot and these nursery rhymes, and this is one thing I wanted to touch on in particular, man, because I was young and I used to wonder why we said some of the stuff we said. Why they had us saying these little nursery rhymes. Knick-knack, paddywhack, get a dog a bone. something. I can't even remember the rest of it, man. Like it was weird to me, man. Like, why do we do this stuff? It's because they are giving us the truth in this nursery rhyme metaphorical way, just like they do with the Bible and everything else. This symbolic way to tell us about who we are and what we are, without actually telling us. It's part of the rules of the game, I think. Part of the rules of the game is they have to tell you what's going on. Whether or not you believe it is up to you. Whether or not you think it's right, you think they're joking, you think it's, oh man, he didn't really mean that. He had a slip of the tongue and blah, blah, blah. How long did Bill Gates sit there and say the whole depopulation through medication and vaccine thing? And people was like, oh, conspiracy theory. Like, what's conspiracy theory? I don't get it. It's conspiracy that he even meant that. I was like, what do you mean? Did he meant what he said? Like, I can, oh no. How'd they give you the most dumbfounded look? Like, so? I mean, what does that, that don't mean anything. Like, and you see, man, look. And so, well, what he's doing now, his hands is clean. He told you way back then what he was going to do, right? Way back then when everybody's trying to show you the video, he told you what he was doing, right? He told you, this is what we're going to do, right? And he laughed about it. Everybody, oh, no, that's crazy. Y'all just a bunch of conspiracy theorists. So now, we done fast forward to now. His hands is clean because he told you. And and everybody thought it was a joke. So that's what I mean. Like, it doesn't matter if you think it's falsehood or not, man. Like, they told you. And this is the way the game is played. If you're not listening, you don't want to pay attention, you want to stay in your fantasy world and believe what you want to believe, go right ahead. They don't care. Matter of fact, they encourage that. That's what they want. If you do that, then you'll go ahead and just follow whatever else it is that they say. If they can come out and tell you to your face what we plan to do to you, and you be like, oh, okay, I don't think that's true. So I just think I don't care what you saying. You're not gonna do that. And just go hum hum. I'm gonna just go ahead and do the same thing. Oh, they're controlling this now, and they're controlling this now. Yeah, but they're not gonna do anything to me. Like, I don't believe that. Go right ahead. That's what they want. That's what they love. They enjoy that. And in fact, to help you do it better, they gave you football. They gave you all these shows. They gave you Real Housewives of Atlanta. They gave you a holiday for every month, not including birthdays, anniversaries, graduation, prom, homecoming, everything else, man, not including that. They gave you plenty of stuff to be distracted. So your daily focus is working, paying bills, and saving up money so you can go to the next party and the next vacation and the next gathering. You know what I'm saying? Pay your dues and all that other stuff. Yo, that's the game. And I mean, it starts at an early age. This is why these nursery rhymes are important. This is why everything, all the stuff they did to us when we were little, it becomes way more important because they have this study out, and it's a lot of different scientists have done this, different groups or whatever, that by the time you're 7 years old, most people are who they're gonna be for the rest of their life. So this is why they cram all this stuff on you when you little. So as I was saying about the mother goddess, like her being a representative, Santa Claus taking her place, actually, this is what you're doing. This is the whole switcheroo from the female deities to the male deities. And Santa Claus taking her place along with the elves. They do it in a nursery rhyme in particular, and I always wondered because it never made no sense. It's all so daggone, man, it's so stupid, man. The old lady that lived in the shoe that had so many children, she ain't know what to do. And I used to be like, this makes no sense. Like, this is like, and they used to have a cartoon with a lady living in a shoe with all these children running around, just being bad, just leaving their toys everywhere, just playing, just doing whatever. What did I just put in there? Yeah, and the whole thing just never made any sense to me. And I used to wonder, like, what that nursery rhyme really came from. The old lady that lived in the shoe with so many children, she didn't know what to do. And it ain't until, I started looking at this symbolism between the mother goddess and Santa Claus and the elves and the leprechaun. I didn't know I was gonna find all this. I'm just like, somebody explain this to me, make sense to me. You know what I'm saying? And this started making sense. If you wanted to cover up things in history, you would portray it as something else. And that's a part of the thing about the journey, man, because like, once you start down this journey, one thing just leads to another. It just, one question answered is just more questions. Just more things going on. Excuse me. And so, like, the more I would find out, the pieces of the puzzle start fitting together better. I'm telling you, man, it's just like 2017, the Great Awakening happened. Like, something happened. Like, not even 2017. That's when it happened for me. Like, 2020, the year of vision. That's when all these people start waking up, and all these people start seeing it. And like I said, the government know we out here, so they also have their group for everybody, including us. That's what I railed off earlier, but yeah, QAnon is the government's woke group, and I advise anybody be very aware. And I'm gonna go into that later. I'm not gonna do it. I gotta stick on this mother goddess right now. But QAnon is the government's woke group. They gonna tell, and this is the way it works. This is the way it works with all the people that suck you in. I've been watching this for a long time. They're gonna tell you some truth, some maybe common knowledge that people know. You can agree with. You don't have to do no research. Everybody's been okay, yeah, that's what everybody says. And then they'll spread into something that you may or may not know something about. And depending on how well the first part goes, you'll trust them well enough in the second part to not look anything up and just take them for face value based on how they look and how they present themselves and whatnot. That's the whole thing about presentation when you're talking to people. It's not so much putting yourself in a good light. It's about putting yourself in a light where people will believe what you got to say. This is the properties of a good scam artist. That's why they're always well dressed, and the way they talk and everything is to a certain point. They want to get their point across to the person they're trying to run the scam on, right? So they start off with something that a lot of people may know. It make you real comfortable. Okay, you trust them. So when they go into this next category where they may bring out some information that a lot of people may not be privy to, you're more inclined to trust them. So when they go a little bit deeper with it and come out with an alternate conclusion to what you may think, or maybe they're going along the same lines, but this is the way the whole thing works. This is how they suck you in. And this is the same thing they're doing with us. They're giving us the truth to an extent, and then they're twisting it a little bit to come out with their own outcome of what it is. You see what I'm saying? And what I want to say is, the whole thing with that nursery rhyme, the little old lady lived in the shoe with so many children she didn't know what to do. The little old lady is the mother goddess. The children in the shoe is the Dogon tribe, and the shoe never made sense. until you come to ancient Egyptian cosmology. And voila, you got Shu, the god Shu. Now, you have Nut up top. Nut is a sky goddess. You got Geb at the bottom. It's the earth god. Male and female. You see how that works? Male and female. And you come out with Shu, who is the god. I want to say Shu is a male god. Yeah, Shu is male god that comes out, and Shu represents the people and everything here on the earth. So, little old lady lived in the Shu with so many children she ain't know what to do. That's where it come from, man. They flip this script at every time. And then once again, once you come to this Egyptian cosmology, now you're looking at flat earth. And you say, oh, Cole, you tripping. That ain't flat earth. I'm telling you it is. This is Geb laying on the ground. He should be, he's representing the flat earth. You see what I'm saying? It would be flat. And here comes Nut, the sky goddess. This is the dome. And here goes Shu in the middle. This is everything that's here. You see what I'm saying? The waters above, you see the people sailing up top? They sailing the waters above and the waters below. She represents the firmament. It's in your Bible, man. It's in Genesis. I was trying to tell folks, look, that's how I always spot somebody who don't read the Bible. Even Christian, you be reading the Bible. Say, I read the Bible. I know how you don't read the Bible. All I got to do is mention the firmament. It's right there in Genesis. It's creation. It's the creation story, creation theory, and the whole thing is they don't read that part. Preachers don't read that part. They skip over that part. Churches don't read that part, and because they don't, the people in the church don't read that part. They only read the parts the preacher read, and because they read those parts, they be like, "Oh, I read the Bible because you read those parts. You didn't read the whole thing, so you don't know what's going on." They'll sit there and quote the Bible all day. It was crazy. Knowing they don't read it. And this is how it works, man. I always wondered why the preachers skip around all these different verses instead of reading the Bible all the way through. It's because they shaping it to look the way they wanted to look. See, if they start talking about the firmament, it don't jive with what science says. You see what I mean? Then you got to explain something else. And what's crazy is the people that I've met that read the Bible, when you mention the firmament, and they be like, yeah, I know about the firmament. See, these people, they'll quote you verses. They're verse for verse. Like, because they've been reading it for so long, trying to figure it out, right? They'll know exactly where these verses are in the Bible. People that don't read, they don't know. They just say stuff. They keep quoting their favorite verses. That's what they couldn't. I'm telling you, man, it's sad. It's sad, man. Anyway, yeah. Except the people that know the Bible, they'll look at it and be like, those are people. They'll be like, even the Bible make mistakes. They'll be arguing you up and down, telling you the Bible is perfect, it is right, there's history, and blah 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 blah. And then you get to the firmament part, and they'll be like, even the Bible makes mistakes. Or you got people that believe in the firmament, and those will be like your flat earth Christians. They don't really push it and promote it. They don't really say nothing to nobody because they know everybody gonna think they crazy. So they be your flat earth Christians. Yeah, the earth flat because they understand what the firmament is and they believe hardcore in the Bible, so they try to follow it. Except this is the same thing the Klan did with the Bible. This is how the Klan got people to follow the Bible. They read the verses in the Bible that coincide with their philosophy. This is the same thing science got us doing. This is why the church get a 501c3. You got to say the right things. You got to go along with that's why you got to go to a school and get taught how to teach the Bible. You see what I'm saying? And all these preachers leave this part of it out about the firmament. They'll read the creation story all day long, and somehow they just happen to skip over it. Or even if they read it, they don't talk about it. They don't mention it. They let it go right over everybody else's head. Start talking about something else. I done seen them do it. I done seen them do it. And I be like, wow, this is why they don't read from start to finish. They just skip around. Man, the Bible just, they be like, all them books in the Bible was wrote by different people, and they all say the same thing, so they confirm everything. Okay, so apparently this is what happened, right? Supposedly, this is what I was told. I don't know what everybody else got told about who wrote the books in the Bible and how they figured out this story, since wasn't nobody around when it happened, right? Um, Apparently God or angels or whatnot spoke to these people and told them what happened so they could write it down in this book, right? So if all look, it's like this. If I got 5 people and I tell all 5 of them people the same story at different times, and they all 5 converse and be like, you know what, he all told us the same story. Does that mean the story I told them was true? Or does it mean I all told them the same story? You see what I'm saying? If you're saying that that's what happened, God said this stuff. So if God said all this stuff, how did all of a sudden he make mistakes with the firmament? It's double talk. It's talking with a forked tongue. You saying 2 different things. Like it don't even make sense, man. You're gonna use all man. I don't even want to get into it. Let me get back to the mother goddess right now. Anyway, a little old lady lived in the shoe, had so many children, didn't know what to do. Yeah, there we go, right there. Here she go. Well, here he go. Shoe. And this, once again, this is changing the woman to the man. Now, this is big because shoe come from an immaculate conception. And if I look, I might have a depiction of how they did it. Now, supposedly in the story, Nut, the sky goddess, the female, gets turned into a bird and has sex with Geb. And I'm trying to see if I can find a depiction of that right off. If I don't, man, I might have to go ahead and search it because I do want to show you that though. Except this is the first Egyptian concept of the immaculate conception, like Jesus, and this is also bestiality because he had sex with a bird. No, that's not what I'm looking for. That is another reason. And the bird in Christianity becomes the white dove. The same as the mother goddess, being Hathor, the bull. Hathor, the cow goddess, then being switched to Hathor, the bull. That is now, in Christianity, we call that the golden calf. You see what I'm saying? It's the same thing. They just keep switching. Jesus, the golden calf, he's the lamb. The lamb is the goat, the Baphomet. Jesus ain't who you think he is. And Jesus is not even a real character, man. It's real crazy how the whole thing goes. Cause I don't know how much time I got, man. We almost at time, but I can run this story real quick. I'll go into it deeper later. A lot of this stuff I'm gonna say is gonna be redundant. I'm gonna go over it again because it all overlaps. It all is a lot of different stuff. Because I'm not done with Santa Claus or elves or St. Patrick or none of that stuff either, man. I just want to hit on all of that. The thing is, she got changed over to Hathor the bull and is now the golden calf because back in the day, women used to rule. You've probably heard the whole Amazonian island thing or whatever. Like California used to be an island. I used to think that was weird. I found books even back then talking about California being an island. I didn't understand how California was an island at one point. I was thinking maybe there was an island off the coast of California, and eventually over time it eroded or whatever and got washed away. Except no, that's not it. There's almost 300 dams on the West Coast. Theory is now, and this. Oh man, and the whole digging up of the whale bones in L.A., downtown L.A., and finding seashells at the top of mountains, it all adds to the theory. Except when they do it, they say, oh, it was the great flood in the Bible. Except it's evidence of a flood all over the world. Why? Because at some point, that part of the world was covered with water. It wasn't the great flood in the Bible. This is all a perversion because there used to be a water world. And what I mean is we got to go back to the symbology, and I got to show you shoe again. There was an old lady, lived in the shoe with so many children, didn't know what to do. And once again, we talking about shoe here. Now, nut is blue here, except shoe is also blue. And that blue is important. Blue represents water. Just like red represents the fire, the green represents the lizard, like the reptilian thing. The blue represents water. And this place was somewhat of a water world. Kevin Costner did a movie about it back in the day called Water World. And that's what this place was. And with the installation of all these dams, you have stopped all that water from flowing through. So theory is, California, you unplug all those dams, deserts become beaches. You'll find whale bones in downtown LA in the valley. You'll find seashells at the top of mountains because they will be now small islands. So yeah, that is another theory. And then that island supposedly, from what I found, that was ran by Amazonian women. These are the first Amazons, and they were black. They wasn't Wonder Woman. They was black. It was supposedly predominantly dark-skinned women. And see, here's the thing. Life in this place is like everything else. It's like flowers. Flowers are here in all variations. Humans are here in all variations. Now, there's a lot of other theories about, because they've been changing us over time. And I'm off the subject. I'm way off grip right now. I'm just talking. And that's what was hard about making this, because there's so much stuff going on. It's hard to get stuck. Hard for me to stick to just one thing, because it sort of overlaps on all this other stuff too. Because the nursery rhymes is just a piece of it. It's training and conditioning for how you end up later on in life, what you believe, what you are willing to accept, the box you have created for yourself. You see what I'm saying? That box filled with impossible and can't, the things that can be and can't be. It's like 30 years ago, everybody would say aliens can't be real. Now look at them. Oh, we always knew it was real. Why? Because the government said it was. That's the only difference. Same shit that was happening way back then is happening right now. The only difference now is the government stopped calling it conspiracy theory and start saying, you know what? Well, it's real. So everybody else said it's real. Like, we don't have a mind of our own. We don't think for ourselves. We let them do all the thinking. And when somebody think and try to think for themselves and put the pieces together, you was a crazy man because I didn't listen to them. I didn't do what they said, man. These folk don't mean you no good. All you got to do is go to the grocery store and read the label, and you see they don't mean you no good. Go read what the FDA allows. Does anybody ever do that? Look up what the FDA allows in your food, the contaminants that they allow in your food, and just look at it year after year. See what they allow to go into your food, what they pass off as food. Man, look. So anyway, man, yeah, let me jump back on Nick again because I'm way off track, man. Like, that's at every turn you get led to flat Earth on what they doing. It leads back to the ancient cosmology, the ancient symbols of what's going on. This is what I was trying to say with Santa Claus, the elves, the leprechauns, the whole nine. This is what they did. They took our ancient cosmology, our ancient spiritual systems. And you got to understand spirituality is different from religion. Religion and spirituality are two different things. And just don't let nobody tell you different. I'm trying to tell you, man. Like, I can explain it further, but they are two different things. They took our old spiritual systems, our own way of life, got rid of it, knowing we are gravitated to it, and gave us things like the Jordan symbol, the Mercedes symbol, because we know we resonate with this basic understanding of the mother goddess. With her arms spread up. This is Celtic and Norse symbology right here. Notice the symbols up top? See this right here? See, when I look at that as Rahu and Ketu. I see him showing it right to us. The mother goddess right here, standing in this particular one. You see what she got in her hands? She got some snakes in her hands. She got the naga in her hands. You see what I'm saying? Ain't no vulture. You know, this ain't the burial mass. Like, ain't no vulture, though. We gonna get into that, too, the whole Mandela effect. I really got to jump on that, man, because that's big. Our world right now, if y'all can, like, all this stuff going on, you can say whatever you want to say, except you know sunset and sunrise is different. You know that without having to sit out there and watch the stars and see if they didn't move across the sky and do, you can tell that right there. You can pretend like it ain't. You can make up whatever excuse you want. Them clear signs. See, like, there's clear signs in the matrix that things are changing. And they give us all the distractions in the world so we ain't got to look at them. We can ignore them. We can pretend like it ain't happening. Right now, time just went back and it's dark at 5:30, man. Like, it's dark. Dark. At 5:30 in the evening, man. Y'all serious? When it gets to its darkest point, it's going to be getting dark about 5 o'clock. This is the same thing it does in the summer. During the summer, at the longest points, it doesn't get dark until about 9:45. That's around the first week of July. It don't get dark until about 9:45. You know that ain't right, man. We so distracted and they got us focused on so much other stuff. We don't care. Like, oh, that don't matter. I just need to get up and go to work tomorrow. I just need to pay my bills. None of this other stuff matter. And I'm not saying that paying your bills don't matter and getting them going. I'm not saying that don't matter. I'm trying to tell you what's happening in your world, just like the birds getting up and chirping in the morning, all that stuff matters. All that stuff means something. And see, our ancestors knew all that stuff, and that's why they left these symbols. Just like this one with this mother goddess holding this snake, and we got this snake symbol here. And then they perverted and they put the snake tongue in the NASA logo. You see what I'm saying? It all means something. They got us out here thinking don't none of it mean nothing. And we happy and content in that. Ignorance is bliss. We love being ignorant. Ignorance sells. Don't have no skills, no nothing, but do some ignorant stuff, man. You good. It's people made a whole career off of just doing it, being ignorant. It's because it's a show called Jackass. They made a whole show off of just being ignorant. You see what I'm saying? We love ignorance. We love the ratchetness. We love the fighting. We love the gossip. We love the dirt. This right here don't interest us. You see what I mean? And that's how they got us. That's how they can trick us with this whole thing and run this whole game on us. And the more they keep us distracted, they can keep running it to the point where they can do things with that, like tell you aliens is a conspiracy theory at one moment, and then the next moment, after they denied it for years, people done got locked up and put in mental facilities for claiming alien and whatnot. Now they can come out and be like, you know what? We was lying the whole time. They really is real. And we still line up and go vote like a bunch of sheep and don't care who killed the president. And I be like, why you voting? If you don't care who killed the president, why are you getting up at 5:30 in the morning so you can be there at 6 o'clock so you can vote before you go to work? Huh? Why? I don't make no sense. None. And then they tell us little nursery rhymes and they got us so dumbed down on the whole thing. They tell us, old little lady living in shoes, so many children didn't know what to do. And we so stupid, we got, what do that mean? And don't nobody care. Don't nobody want to figure it out. And they telling you about who you are in this little nursery rhyme. And they're making it stupid, just like they did with Flat Earth. Everybody got to talk Flat Earth. And they made it look stupid. They put out that little yellow block and said, this what everybody think the earth is, this block right here. You just going to fall off the edge. And then they gave you a little disc with the water falling off and the ships going off the edge. It's like, this what people thought the earth was, this right here. They made it sound stupid, so you'll think it's stupid. So by the time you get to 12th grade, you be like, that's stupid. You know what's stupid? Give me an equation for something that ain't there. And then because you wrote it down on a piece of paper, that means it really is there. That stopped working with me a long time ago. And in this society, we taught you supposed to just have faith and trust. Facts and evidence don't mean nothing. That's the craziest thing. And we look at somebody who go off of facts and evidence as a weirdo, like something wrong with them because they don't believe in Jesus. You just got to believe. What's wrong with you for having facts? Them facts away from me. Get that evidence out my face, man. I don't like it. Because the evidence don't go along with what I believe. So I don't want to look at it no more. That's us. So when they give the story about the old look, and this is important. I got it because it deals with the racism in America. They give you the story with the old white dude that's got the factory. Remember when we were children, the old white dude has got the factory, and at night the elves would come in and make his shoes for him. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. See, this is what these folk do, man. This is what I was getting to with the story about the Dogon, man. Cause like in that one book, Conversation with Olga Tamelli, like these are these human beings, like having this interaction with this elder, one-eyed elder. Okay, look, he's a one-eyed elder. A one-eyed elder, the one-eye symbology. You got to pay attention to that. That's important. This is when I first started seeing this, I was like, hold up, man. Like, I knew about some of this symbology with the eyes and the numbers and whatnot. When I started reading this, like, just listening to it repeat. All right, so in 1933, this group of Europeans went to this Dogon tribe in Africa. And after 33 days of staying with this Dogon, staying in the area with this Dogon tribe, they were finally allowed to talk to this one-eyed elder named Olga Tameli. This dude with one name you can't find in history. Don't nobody know who he is because they only had one name, Olga Tameli. These one-name deities, these one-name people repeat throughout their history books so you can't trace them and track them. It's on purpose. Just like Jesus and the disciples. One name. The same thing. So all of that is symbolic. It's masonry symbology in itself. The thing about the whole story that caught my attention was they kept going on, and it wasn't in just this book, it was in other books too. They kept going on about how the Dogon were good at making things. And they especially said how good they were at making shoes. When it comes to everything else, they was good at making everything else. It was just they was good at it. Except when they would come to making shoes, they was just so excellent. They was naming the different types of shoes they was making and all this other stuff, man. And I kept looking at the pictures and reading the books. I was like, these folk don't wear no shoes. Where does this come from? Like, granted, I'm not going to say they was probably real talented at doing a lot of stuff, except somebody would have had to show them how to make shoes. They don't make shoes. They don't wear shoes. So what is you talking about? They made all these good shoes. And then you got the story about the dude in the factory, the white man in the factory with the L's come in making shoes for free at night. And the factory took off and his business did great. Remember that? I forget what the name of the story is. That's where it come from. That's it right there. At every turn, and then they telling you what they doing to you. This motherfucker, he got you to come in and work in his factories and make money for him and him do great. And you basically do it for free. This is what the story telling you. We don't see it as that. You see what I'm saying? Oh, it's just a nursery rhyme. It's just something you tell children. It shapes their mentality. It's just like having Jesus white when everybody know he ain't. You see what I mean? And at the same time, you know that, then they go right around and be like, it doesn't matter. They ain't gonna put no black Jesus on their wall of the white church. You see what I'm saying? Say that don't matter stuff all you want. You're not about to put a black Jesus on your wall. You can't even, it's hard to get a black church to do that. So you know a white church ain't gonna do it. When you know Jesus was black. You see what I mean? And then and you know all that, and then turn around and it doesn't matter what color he is as long as we understand the meaning behind it. We'll put the true color on the wall then. You know what I mean? That's where they got us at. It's divide and conquer. And as long as we stuck in that and we ain't even willing to accept that little, even that, they're going to always have us. And the people that can't even see past that, they'll never understand this stuff I'm talking about. It's going to always elude them. It's going to not make no sense because your whole world is designed on the things you believe is put in that box. And if black and white and can't and impossible and all this other stuff is in there, this right here can't fit in there. You see what I mean? You got too many apples in your pocket. I can't drop these diamonds up in there. Is you getting me? See, you got all this old information that's in there, and you don't want to allow this new information to come in. And it's crazy. Like when you talk to people, you can see it right off. You only have to say a few things, and you can see it right off. Just is what they say. You know, shut up right away. Like I used to not know. Man, it's so easy to see it now. Like, okay, I just say a couple of things. Like, I get my point across. I say something they can't argue. I know they can't even touch. And I'll be silent after that. And they just sit there and they look at me. But yeah, it's some people like, It's not gonna make no sense to them. Ain't no even pushing the issue. And you know the crazy part is they ain't gonna do no research and look it up. You can point them in the direction all day. It's that once again, it's the old saying: you can lead a horse to water, you can't make them drink. When I was in high school doing this research, I was bringing the books home and I was trying to show them to people, look, what I read. They didn't even want to read it. You can't make them do it. And that's part of what this place is, man. Like, this place something else, man, because, like, there's actually a couple theories about what this place actually is that got a lot of validity with me. Like, the first thing is, you know, we've all heard this place is a prison. We got us trapped here, right? Okay, yeah. This place is a school. It's a place of learning. You're supposed to always learn here. Yeah, I can see that too. The third theory, man, I'm finding it hard to shake. And here's the theory. And it's like the first two are true. Except it's only a prison if you don't learn. And eventually in the school, you're going to graduate. You get out of learning. See, what they have done is they trapped us here. This is why this whole God and goddess thing is important. They trapped us here by using these gods. See, like Jesus, Allah, Buddha, they're here. Mars and Mercury and planets and whatnot, space and all that stuff, that's here. That's the world they got us believing in. So when it comes to the end of your time here in this place, these are the things that a lot of people, they long for. People are dying, they cry out for a couple of things. Their mama and Jesus. You know, they cry out to God. God help me. God this, God that. These are the things they long for. They die wishing, you know, they had got that house or they had got that girl or they got that car. Which is one thing I got told when I was being introduced to the Masons. Like I got told, I was like, look, if you join us, you'll get that house. You'll get that car. You'll get that girl. You won't want for shit. You'll get the job. You'll get the degree. You'll get all that stuff. You'll live a charmed life if you just join us. And that's the game here. That's where they want you at. They want you wanting all that stuff. So you won't think about who you are or think about anything else besides this physical world here. So when you die, you long for those things they told you about, without ever knowing who you really are. So you'll want that house, you'll want the big car, you'll want, you know, the swimming pool, you'll want all that. You'll want the riches, you'll want the money, the fantasy stuff. And it's all just, you know, rocks and dirt and stuff, really. You see what I mean? At the end of the day, when you be like, where did you get that from? And you go through the whole process of how you got to this laptop right here or this computer right here or this cell phone right here. It was rocks and dirt at one point. Ash to ashes, dust to dust. It's right there. We don't get it though. All we care about who playing next on TV. You know what I mean? Who gonna win the Super Bowl? Is the girls' team gonna do good this year? As good as the boys' team? Is the boys' team gonna go do good as the girls' team? You know what I mean? That's all we care about. You know, when your favorite celebrity gonna be on TV. Someone that has truly earned a place right up there with Santa Claus and Charles Darwin is that Tyler Perry. I ain't gonna lie, man. Oh, so much salt in the game with that dude. You have a problem with a man wearing a dress. Unless he make $1 billion, he on TV every day. Man. I remember people had a problem with Dave Chappelle talking about, oh, he make fun of black people. Tyler Perry actually got a character based on black women. All the black women he met growing up and all their worst characteristics all rolled into one. And y'all think that shit funny. He run that shit on TV. Everybody laugh. He talking about twerk. Y'all think that shit's funny. Y'all laugh and y'all love that shit. Sometimes I be like, we really are hope. Like, you know what I mean? Like, because here's the thing. There's this one theory in particular. I went through the other two, man. But here's this one theory in particular that the first two are true, except there's actually something else that's happened. And we've been invaded by these other folk, by these other entities. And part of the reason and see, this is where it sort of splits because there's two theories with this. Like I said, the first two are correct. It's a prison and a school for certain reasons. Except it's been invaded by this other entity from a level, and this is the highest they can go where, far as us angelical beings, you want to call them, call us that, this is the lowest we can go. And what they're doing is taking over, except this place is supposed to be this way. Okay? It's supposed to be this way. Now, the flip side of this theory is that this place was designed by us, and some of us we chose to come here because there is a problem going on outside in our real world that's going on that we need to fix. And that this simulation is being used to fix that problem, to find a solution to the problem. That someone, somewhere along the line, will find a solution to what's going on. I don't know. I really couldn't tell you if any of that's true. It's feasible. I could see it. I mean, it would make sense. See, here's the thing, and they've done this in movies before, like time. Then the whole Einstein theory, but it's really not Einstein's theory. Like, he's quack. Time is relative. It's like in a dream. When you in a dream, you might only be walking to the store, and it took you like 10, 15 minutes up. You asleep like 6, 7 hours, right? This whole place, our lives we live in, on the outside world, this 70 years, 80 years, 100 years we're here, could have took 10 minutes. We could have lived this whole time in this simulation, living through this thing for all these years, for 100 years, and it only took 10 minutes outside of the simulation. And we wake up and we come back in to do it again because we're trying to fix this problem. You see what I'm saying? Because we have this problem on the outside, and if we can fix the problem here, then we can fix the problem on the outside. That's the theory. See, these other theories, it's like, don't worry, be happy. This is the way it's supposed to be. And I have a problem with that. I don't know, like, it doesn't sit right with me. Now, this last theory that there's a problem on the outside and like we're in here trying to fix it, that makes more sense to me. I don't know. What I'm saying is the path to the truth is a lot of things, and it's not. And one thing is not as a straight line. That's one thing it's not gonna be. Um, your world is gonna get changed. It's gonna get turned upside down. You're gonna have to learn a lot about yourself. Like, for instance, we meet people sometimes, and we know these people ain't right, except we can't prove, and they haven't really done anything. And by the time it actually happens, it's like, damn, I knew it all along anyway. I should have stayed away from them. You know what I mean? It's sort of like that. And these are things we're all taught to ignore. And when you start waking up, these things become more important in your life, because it's all about the energy you're carrying around and being introduced to and the people you're with, because that affects you and your energy you put out. And you want to have a certain type of energy and a certain type of vibration in this place. Otherwise, you get caught up in the depression and all this other stuff that's going on out here. You know what I'm saying? Like, it'll get you all these things that's happening, like they'll bug you and worry you and bring you down. And that's I never knew what it was before, and I didn't understand it. Like, even when I first realized, I was having moments where I'd be depressed and just didn't. Why is that? It is me, except at the same time it is my environment I'm in. The things that's going on, and this whole place is designed to put you in those moods, to have you needing this medical professional. And once again, we're going to go back to, it's what it's all about, this medical symbol. That's why it's so prevalent. Because, you think about it like this. If the only thing people went to the doctor for was like operations and like broken legs and whatnot, who really, like, how much money would they really be making? But if I can get you hooked on a pill for the next 30 years of your life, and you got to keep coming back, dude, I done did something then. I fixed your broke leg, man. Like, I got to wait for you to break your leg again. That was one time, dog. Like, shoot. I get what? One extra visit to cut the cast off, make sure it's all right. Like, yeah. I got to hope you break it again, man, to run it back. But yeah, that's this whole system here, man. They got it set up, even from the time you're little with the nursery rhymes, to hide all this symbolism right in front of you. And next time I'm gonna dig deeper into uh the women that ruled this place and whatever. I don't want, man. It's a lot, man. It's a lot. We'll get more into it, man. We'll get more into it. Anyway, thank you once again for joining the podcast. This is the Cole Brown Show, and I'm going to see you next time. Cole Brown out. Peace.